let's shift here. Let's shift here. We talked about the running backs, and we talked heavily about Devin Singletary and what that Buffalo Bills backfield is looking like. Let's talk about the receivers. Obviously, we know Stephon Diggs in Buffalo is the wide receiver one for Josh Allen. But Aaron, you have been on this show very high. You've been very high on Gabe Davis. Seems like the entire fantasy community is very high on Gabe Davis. But what can you tell us that is different than what all the other talking heads are saying about Gabe Davis? What is truly special about him in fantasy this year that makes him a must-draft type of player?
It's opportunity. And I don't think it's different than what people are saying. This is what we expect. He's been battling Emmanuel Sanders, Cole Beasley, just guys that have just been thrown out there. We're talking about a guy that's played about 50% of the offensive snaps as a receiver, and he's led the league the last 3 years in red zone opportunities, in red zone targets. And he plays 50% of the snaps. So you put this guy on the other side of a Stephon Diggs who draws double coverage, and you have a quarterback that is this physical freak of a Josh Allen. I think you see what we saw in the playoffs last year. We're talking about an explosive player. This is not somebody that's just, he's in an opportunistic situation. You're talking about a guy that's an explosive player. Gabe Davis was explosive in college. He's been explosive his entire time in the NFL. This is somebody that is going to make a difference. And I think, what is he, wide receiver 31? Somewhere around there, wide receiver 30. I think is just a disservice to where he's going to end up finishing. I told you guys before, I think he could end up touching like middle of wide receiver 2, maybe wide receiver 1 numbers. And that's not a joke. And I'm not saying he's going to overtake Stephon Diggs. But when you start separating Stephon Diggs having 110 catches and maybe Gabriel Davis having 14 to 15 touchdowns with 70 to 80 catches, I might be leaning to Gabe Davis's way at the draft value that you're going to get him at. So all I can say is I'm all in. I shoved all my chips in the middle of the table because Gabe Davis is going to be on a lot of my fantasy teams.
So you're thinking we could be seeing something like what Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, or like those type of receiving groups these for fantasy where both wide receivers are arguably wide receiver 1s, if not fringe wide receiver 2s. Like that's what we could possibly be seeing out of Gabe Davis.
Yeah, I like Gabe Davis having a year like Mike Williams had last year.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, the random Will Fuller year. Nice little throw him out there.
Well, yeah, half a year for Will Fuller, but I mean, again, this is coming from you. I don't think people really remember how good he was at UCF. Like he was a absolute. He was a playmaker.
I remember the Full Sail package too, talking about Gabe Davis.
Oh my God. He was a dog. Like he has the talent, and there's no better offense to be in than an offense that throws the ball a ton with a quarterback that just don't give a bleep and is going to throw you the football. And now we don't have the guys in the way. There's no guys in the way to keep Gabe Davis off the field. And that's the biggest thing. He was off the field a lot. And I think now with the percentage of snaps he's going to play in that volume, I don't think you can miss. Let's just say that. Based on his ADP right now, I don't think he can miss.
That was the take I was going to go with that route of, I mean, look, you're losing Cole Beasley and also Emmanuel Sanders, guys that took away that opportunity. Now he's at 2, no matter what. I mean, Jamison Crowder's probably his only competition, and that dude's old and washed, and he'll be in the slot. And, I mean, he's going to be on the opposite side. He's going to be on the field a ton. And the upside's there. Maybe Dawson Knox hurts a little bit, but I think he's still a pretty solid wide receiver, and he can put up good numbers this year. I'm with you.
A real quick question here. AJ, I'll send this to you. Dawson Knox, Dylan just brought him up and possibly taking some targets here. Right now, he's going as the tight end 10, and we know how flowy the tight end rankings can be, and you might end up seeing one of these tight ends who's maybe 8 or 9 or maybe 10 slide into the top 5. Do you think Dawson Knox has that potential of being a top 5 tight end this season?
I think he might have some top 5 weeks. I don't think overall. I mean, you can talk about the guys who are locked in at the top, Kelsey, Andrews. A lot of people say Kyle Pitts. You can add Darren Waller and George Kittle there. I mean, those are the 5 names that come to mind. If you want to battle him somewhere, at that 6 and 5 spot. You're now talking about a Hawkinson. There's still a lot of potential in Goddard. That offense in Arizona is explosive with Zach Ertz and can have some opportunities. I just think there's a lot of people between 5 and 10 that he would have to battle. Now, he had some good weeks last year, and then he got injured. So we honestly didn't see the full potential of him. But I don't know about an overall top 5, but I think he can be inside that top 10 and closer to it. But I don't think inside the top 5.